welcome to our Rivals Ixalan Draft League. This is Old Man Poole. We have an interesting first pick here. Ravenous Chupacabra, probably the best uncommon in the set, and Jadelight Ranger, who's been very, very impressive to me as well. I'm a little bit on the fence here. I think these two cards are miles above everything else in the pack. I do like the Moment of Craving. Knight of the Stampede's pretty cool in the Dinos deck. Strength of the pack, I think, can be a pretty good finisher for Merfolk. But I think these two are definitely our choice. Ravenous Chupacabra, I think, is actually probably the better card. I'm kind of tempted to take the Jadelight Ranger, though. This is a very, very good value card. I think it is comparable in power, and I really would like to play Merfolk. I actually haven't had the chance to play it in the format yet. So I think I'm going to take Jadelight Ranger. We'll have to be aware that we sent a really, really strong signal into black, just right in our first pick. I definitely could see taking the Chupacabra here, but I think it's close, and I'd like to try and do Merfolk if we have that possibility. Okay, reasonable follow-up here. I'm not super wild about Aquatic Incursion, but I do like Jungleborn Pioneer quite a bit. I've been impressed by this card. 3 power, 3 toughness across 2 bodies has been pretty good. Merfolk in general, this blocks very well if you need it to, and the 1/1 hexproof Merfolk can be a good repository for your counters too. Aquatic Incursion is kind of interesting, kind of exciting, but it's good in the late game, it's kind of low impact early, and I think that when Merfolk is really at its best, you're really beating down fast and putting a clock on your opponent. I think I'm gonna pick this up. I think it's better in the Merfolk deck than River Dart or Jadebearer. Ooh, it's a little bit interesting. So Siege-Worn Ceratops is actually, I think, pretty solid. It's a 2/2 for 2 a lot of the time, but if you're ever in a position where you've got a good combat trick, or your opponent just really can't block this, it gets huge fast. With something like Tianali's Crown or Aggressive Urge, the Siege-Worn Ceratops does some serious work. So it doesn't fit into Merfolk, since Merfolk is generally just going to be a solid blue-green deck, but it is a very aggressive card, because it being in green-white sort of beat down. If we were taking a Merfolk-only card, we'd probably take Aggressive Urge over Jadecraft Artisan. Those are both fine, neither of which are super exciting. Sea Red is also a pretty powerful card as well. Very, very aggressive, but does a good job beating down. I think we're going to take the Siege-Worn Ceratops here, though. I'm not confident this is the correct pick either, but I think it can put your opponent in a very tough position, and I like cards that do that. So, Merfolk does seem to be open, which is nice. Expel Ferazka is pretty powerful, but we also have 2 pretty good Merfolk cards. I kind of want to take the Glintgrove Stalker. I think the Jungleborn Pioneer might be, well, it might be better enough that we should take it. I do want a good number of 2-drops in the deck, though. I think I'm going to take the Stalker. I could see Pioneer being correct, and I think Pioneer probably will wheel less often than the Stalker will. I think that pick is close, though, given what we've drafted so far. I think that even though the Pioneer is a stronger Merfolk card, Merfolk looks a lot worse if you're low on 2-drops than if you are on 3-drops. Ooh, that was kind of interesting, too. This is a late Etsoken Seer. This is kind of a signpost, certainly more than a Glintgrove Stalker is, and we're not even, we could just be green-white. With some minor dinosaur synergies. I think I'm gonna take this here. It's, yeah, definitely a little bit speculative, but I think that it has the potential to fit into a better deck. Okay, I'm gonna take the Jungleborn Pioneer over the Frillback here. Even if we do end up in dinosaurs, I think the Pioneer's probably enough better than the Frillback that we're happy to have this. I suppose I've got a second. I keep kind of meaning to really come out and say thank you to everybody that's been watching the videos. There's always a really good uptick in viewership right after new set releases. New sets are exciting. I definitely get that. But I feel like this time there's been, I don't know, a really big swell of goodwill from the community. So thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for those of you who post comments. I love comments. I love to respond to comments. Definitely try and get to all the ones that I can, and I think I do a pretty good job of that. Thanks especially to everyone that's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, I definitely would love you to. I post quality content a couple times a week. Hopefully it's a good thing for the both of us, but it really does help me get my name out there and get noticed. So out of this pack, I talked for a while, but I think we're going to take the Glintgrove Stalker. I think Hardy Veteran might be a better card in general, but if we're in Merfolk, the Stalker's pretty solid. Wow. No respect for Form of the Dinosaur. There's not really a way we can play this, right? I think I might take it anyway. I mean, Plummet's a really good sideboard card. I would like to have a couple of these. But on the crazy chance that we end up in red, like if you're an aggressive beatdown deck and you finish with Form of the Dinosaur, I think this card is just absurdly good. If you ever end up in like a racing scenario and you go down to like 5 or so, you play this, your opponent's just like, wow, I cannot win at this point. And even if you kind of get stalled and you have to start taking 4 a turn or so by killing their big stuff, you're still killing really big creatures. Stormfleet Sprinter came around. While green has felt open, I've not seen a whole lot of blue. There was that late Expel from Orazka, but not tons. A little bit tempted to take Knight of the Stampede here in that case. I think I like that. I think this is the most powerful of the cards remaining. It is a little bit of a signpost like the Ixalan Seer. We haven't seen any huge dinos to go along with it, but I think this is a good potential. So I don't love Jade Bearer even in Merfolk. I think I'm going to take the River Darter here. We can also take Shake the Foundations. Maybe if we end up in Rage, this is probably like highest upside. How likely does Merfolk seem? Not real likely. Even though we've seen a lot of good like payoff cards, haven't seen a ton of blue. I think I'm actually going to take the Shake the Foundations. Also a little bit of a speculative pick. Wow, see red this late? Yeah, we're doing it. Kind of surprised, by the way, that these packs have turned out. I feel like we've seen some very powerful, like, late cards. I guess I'll take the Stampeding Horncrest, or I guess... I don't really like Cacophodon. And Horncrest isn't a bad top end. We'll take Traveler's Amulet here. I think we're probably gonna be green-red, given how late these two cards came around. It may be that just people are... like, I'm evaluating them a lot higher than average, but those cards do seem really good to me. If your opponent can't answer C-Red, the game just ends. Ooh, there's Raging Regisaur. Okay, I think we're gonna make the shift here and call ourselves green-red. We have enough, like, good green cards, and we had some pretty powerful late red pickups. Slaughter the Strong, I think, is reasonable. Not absurd, but a good card. I would like some aggressive urges, although I guess it's not quite as important if we're not playing Siege-Torn Ceratops. We do just want some combat tricks in general. But Raging Regisaur is 4/4 for 4, and has the ability to shoot your opponent's creatures or enable Enrage on your side. Seems pretty good. Ooh, wow. So, wow. Man, this pack. Someone took a... well, I guess probably a foil, actually. I really like Golden Guardian. Like, this has got to be my pet card of the set. But I think I just got to take Needletooth Raptor. This card is so absurd. If you can enable it with Raging Regisaur, Shake the Foundations, it's just so strong. There's a lot of cards we want out of this pack, though. I would play Hunt the Weak, Aggressive Urge, would love Reckless Rage, would play Mutiny, probably not the Corsair. Man, Golden Guardian's so sweet. How unlucky is it to pick up like 5 excellent cards? Truly a curse. I think we're going to take the Needletooth Raptor. I really would like to make a Golden Guardian deck work sometime. I think we're trying to be more aggressive than the decks it really fits into. Although I guess it's probably still a fine finisher. I think we have to take the Raptor though. That's just such a good pickup. Okay, another sort of interesting pick here. Definitely don't hate Overgrown Armasaur. It'll be good with Knight of the Stampede. Could also take like Goblin Trailblazer. Pretty good with C-Red. Makes it basically impossible to block. Well, I guess C-Red kind of makes something impossible to block on its own too. Prill Deathspitter I think's a little bit below both of those. We also have Forerunner of the Heralds, which right now is just probably getting... I guess I could get Jade Light Ranger. I guess that's pretty powerful. It turns into a 4/3 kind of immediately too. Wonder if this is just high enough impact that we want it, even though we don't have tons and tons of Merfolk. I guess it's pretty good with Jungleborn Pioneers too, though. I think I might take the Forerunner here. We're getting a little bit heavy on the 4-drops. Speaking of, I haven't seen this card. Awakened Amalgam. Equal to the number of differently named lands you control. Huh, it doesn't seem particularly good. So we've got Knight of the Stampede and Hunt the Week, which are both cards I would like, but Bombard's pretty fantastic, so we'll pick that up here. I do feel like we are in the right colors. Goodness, goodness! Oh man, I hurt. This is like ridiculously open. I think Needletooth Raptor is sweeter. We're kind of heavy on the 4s though, although I don't think Knight of the Stampede looks like it's going to be what we want in this version of the deck. I guess this is actually a 6-drop for what that's worth. I think I'm going to take Needletooth Raptor over the Thrashing Brontodon. Brontodon I would love though, would definitely still play Hunt the Week as well. Ooh, Shake the Foundations is looking pretty good in this deck so far. I guess we only have 2 payoffs, but they are really, really good payoffs. Could take... This probably isn't real likely to wheel. We've only got 2 cards left in the pack. One's going to be... It's probably these 2, honestly. Death Spitter's good. The Pioneer is less good if we're running Shake the Foundations. And actually makes the Gilt Growth Stalker look kind of bad, too. I think this is just a high enough upside, though, that I'll play a couple of these and just try and butcher people with our Needlenose Raptors. Another Jungleborn Pioneer. Armasaur's probably a little bit better. I'm worried our curve is going to look kind of rough here, though. Sea Red's good. It actually, we may end up being a little bit more mid-range dinos, though. Yeah, Embarrassment of Riches here, which is, it's a good thing. I think I'm going to take the Jungleborn Pioneer. I don't think Knight of the Stampede is going to be exceptional in our deck. I think I just want to make sure we don't lose in the early game. So even though these are kind of a nombo with like Shake the Foundations, man, this is a late Reckless Rage too. I mean, this will kill something like Needletooth Raptor, but this shoots 2 of your opponent's creatures. There's also a Stone Quarry, which I guess we could use to try and help splash like Exoken Seer. But the Ceratops and the Seer are both better on early in the game too. I think Reckless Rage is a pretty easy pick. Aggressive Urge seems good though. I do want a combat trick, couple of combat tricks, and this is a solid one. Another one? Do we want another one in this deck? Don't think we may not even be playing Sea Red, as we look like we're a little bit more mid-rangey value-y. Sea Red's still good. I mean, if you put it on something like Raging Regisaur, it's still really hard for your opponent to interact with. I have Mutiny. We're a little bit light on removal. Also have Naturalize. I think I'm going to take Mutiny. I'm not sure that's correct, though. Trailblazer or Plummet? Trailblazer's, I guess, good if we're skewing a little bit more aggressive again. Might depend on how we look in our last pack. Plummet's just a very good sideboard card, which I might like, though. And I think our main deck is actually good enough that maybe I can afford to just take this. We only have 2 2-drops, though. Maybe Trailblazer's still enough better. Still don't like Jade Bearer. I'll take the Knight of the Stampede, but probably won't be playing it. Okay, we'll take the Plummet now, though. That's a nice late pickup. Hey, Son of a Gun, Strider Harrison Mountain, just as predicted. Probably not a real, like, difficult prediction, but I'll take them where I can get them. This deck's got some serious power in it. It needs a few things to really go well. I want a couple of, especially 2 toughness 2-drops. But outside of that, I mean, we're looking pretty good. So TNLE's Knight's probably a better pick than Ranging Raptors. Ranging Raptors is good and will have ample opportunities to enable Enrage. But actually, we're not ramping all that high. And I think the Knight is obviously like a great target for Sea Red and doesn't die to things like Shake the Foundations, which is nice. A River Herald's Boon. We actually do have a good number of Merfolk. I think the Knight still might be better, though. Vineshaper Mystic. Again, we have a fair number of Merfolk, but not like tons. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe Mystic's better. It's in the 3-drop slot, which we have more of. Yeah, it's actually closer than I would have initially expected. I think the Mystic's better than River Herald's Boon if we're doing stuff with Merfolk. It's a 2/4 on its own, which isn't miserable. And it has the potential to get something else a little bit larger. I think I might just take the Mystic here. Okay, Phantom Fleet Firebrand's a good one. River Herald's Boon, I think, probably fine, but not as good as the Firebrand. I also like Unfriendly Fire quite a bit, but like I said, we're light on 2s, and I really want to shore that up. So I think we're going to take him there. This is a very good 2-drop. Ooh, there's some spice in here for us too. We have Commenda Speaker, which is less good if we're not playing blue-green, blue-green. But we have Raging Swordtooth. This is pretty great if it's enabling Needletooth Raptors. I guess that's really our only enrage, but it's still a very powerful one. Still can snipe like opposing vampires and the like. Emperor's Vanguard I think is good, but not as good as a Swordtooth in our deck. We could hope to wheel this, but I think it's powerful enough that we just want to reserve it here. Colossal Dreadmaw. This is a little bit less exciting for us. There's another River Herald's Boon. Just don't know if we really have the Merfolk to justify this, though. You have to have one player, otherwise the River Herald's Boon feels pretty bad. I don't think Emerging Growth's very good. I guess we'll take a Dreadmaw. I could see the Pyromancer even being a reasonable pick, but maybe it's not terrible to have just a little bit more beef at the top end. Jungle Delver, Sun-Crowned Hunters, Demolish. This last pack has been less friendly to us. Guess I'll take the Sun-Crowned Hunters. It might be better than the Colossal Dreadmaw given how many enablers we have. Probably is, actually. Okay, Tishana's Wayfinder's pretty good. Yeah, I'm definitely, I don't know. Maybe we should have taken the Tianali's Knight over the Mystic. I think we're going to be tight on 2-drops, and that could cost us. Maybe we were just a little bit too greedy during the main portion of the draft. Slice and Twain's a pretty good sideboard card. Don't think we're going to play Fire Shrine Keeper. Don't like Brontodon particularly, but not unhappy to pick that up. Ooh, this is a real gift this late. I would play Dual Shot in this deck, especially given the synergies with Needletooth Raptor, but I just want to make sure we don't die. So let's pick up another Firebrand. This is a good 2-drop too. Oh, and Tianali's Knight Wield. Okay, now I feel like our deck is just pretty good. So what cards are we cutting here? Oh, that's true. Ooh, Unfriendly Fire over Thrasher Raptors. Pretty good on creature count. Thrash is solid. Friendly Fire might just be better though, having a little bit more removal. We've got Bombard, which just puts Unfriendly Fire to shame. We're actually, I guess we have a couple of Raptors too. I think I like this. We've got some big game. Another Sun-Crowned Hunters. Suppose we could play that if we need to. So what are we cutting? I think Mutiny is fine, but not super exciting. I think we're going to cut one of the Shake the Foundations. Stormfleet Pyromancer is sweet. For as good as this card has the potential to be with the Needletooth Raptors, we actually don't have that many cards that it really goes off with. And there are going to be times where it's just, like, if you have 2 of those in your hand and no Needletooth Raptor to go along with it, you're going to feel kind of embarrassed. Demolish, I guess. Probably not going to play that. Worse than Slice and Twain. I guess if they have one of the really good flip lands and think they can flip it immediately. Okay. So I guess what are we cutting? The Jungleborn Pioneers are solid. There's a little bit of an interesting choice here in whether we keep the Merfolk or kind of cut them. Because I think we actually have enough 2-drops that we could cut the Stalkers. And if we cut the Stalkers, we probably have to cut the Mystic. I think I like the Firebrands like better though than the Stalkers, even with a little bit of synergy. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's see. I like Form of the Dinosaur and Friendly Fire. I think playing 1 Shake the Foundations is pretty sweet. And it's maybe even possible we could play 2, but it's a little bit awkward against a lot of decks our opponent could, or a lot of decks that our opponents could play, and also it just leads to more awkward draws if you have 2 in the deck. Because they're often something you really want one of, but not so much the second. I think we're going to cut Mutiny. I think we actually have good enough removal that we don't need it, even though Mutiny I think is perfectly playable. We'll cut the Stalker. I think we're going to cut the Mystic. Maybe 1 more Stalker, or are we unhappy if we go down to 4 there? I want to play with Sea Red. I think it is good. I think Aggressive Urge is also powerful. The rest is removal, which I don't really want to pull out. I guess 4 of the Heralds gets worse. It's still pretty good, though. Just the fact that this is always going to be able to find, like, Jade Light Ranger is powerful. And it's going to be a 4-3. Like, we can also get Jungleborn Pioneer and just turn this into a 5-4 pretty fast. Seems good. Maybe let's get the Pyromancer. Keep 2 Suncrowned Hunters on the top end. Is that too much? These do give us a lot of reach with things like the Sword Tooth, the Raging Regisaur. Pyromancer might be better against some opponents, but I think I kind of like that. Alright, so we're still a little bit tight on 2 drops. I think I like the decision to cut the Stalker and the Mystic, though. Mystic, I think, frequently would just be a 2-4 in the deck, which is perfectly fine at 3 mana. And maybe that's just good enough. And maybe the synergies are just powerful enough that if we can pump up something like a Wayfinder, it's pretty good. I guess we can always get it with Forerunner of the Heralds. Yeah, maybe that's a mistake. Alright, let's bring back in the Vine Shaper Mystic. We'll cut 1 Pioneer. So it's funny, we're like a Dinos deck except for the 3-drop spot, and then we're just super Merfolk. But I do like the Jungleborn Pioneer a lot. Okay, I think the deck's sweet. Let's pull in our lands. Don't think we're going to play Traveler's Harness. And don't think we're going to try and splash for the Seer. Ooh, this deck is actually heavier red than I thought it was. I guess, yeah, we're kind of heavy on red, aren't we? A lot of our good payoffs are in red, too. Jadelight Ranger wants 2 green, so I'm loath to go too low. Do we want to be 9-8, though? Probably not. With things like Reckless Rage, Sea Red that we want to play 2 in 1 turn. I think 10-7 actually might be better. It'll be a little bit tough to play Jadelight Ranger on curve some of the time, but I think that that's a good choice. That'll give us a good opportunity to get our 2-drops out. Also makes the Firebrand a little bit better as well. But I'm really excited about this deck. I will see you guys for match 1.